Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. We are going to look at Surds, and we are going to see how do we apply Surds and how do we do with Surds. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to share the links. Go to the description and follow the links for more videos on my channel. Don't forget to leave a comment and tell a friend to also subscribe to my channel. So we are looking at Surds. Surds is a topic in mathematics. So first of all, we are saying a surd is an irrational root of a real number, e.g. root 2, root 3, 3 root 2, negative 3, root 3, etc. So a surd is an irrational, not this irrational root of a real number. So we are going to see how do we deal with surds. So let us first look at the rules that govern surds, the rules of surds. The first one, we have root m times root m giving us m. Why is this so? If we have two numbers that are the same under the root and we are multiplying them, we have that same number. The roots of those two numbers will equate to that same number. So how does this come about? We know that root m is the same as m power a half times, again, root m here is the same as m power a half. So numbers with the same bases, we just add up their exponents. Therefore, here we have m power a half and m power a half. So we add up a half and a half. So a half plus a half is giving me 1. Therefore, I have m power 1, and m power 1 is equivalent to m. So let us look at the second rule. The second rule states that root m times root n is the same as root of m times n. That means that if I have two numbers that are different under the root, I just multiply them under the same root. Multiplication of those numbers is the same as multiplying them under the same root. Then m times root n is the same as m root n. You just do simple multiplication. You just multiply m times root n is the same as m root n. Then the fourth rule, p root m times 2 root n, that is the same as multiplying p times 2. Then I multiply root m times root n. So that is p times 2, then root m times root n. From the second rule here, we know that root m times root n is the same as root of m n. So I apply that on these ones here. Root m times root n is the same as root of m n. Then the next one, our last rule, now rule number 5, it is a quotient. I have a quotient, root m over root n. So this is the same as putting all of them under the same rule, that is root of m all over n, where m is greater than or equal to 0 and n is not equal to 0. Why is it so that n should not be equal to 0? This is because if n here is equal to 0, we shall have an imaginary number. Why? Because any number divided by 0, it is an imaginary number. So we cannot have a root of an imaginary number. So that is giving us imaginary, and it is not possible. So n should not be equal to 0 and m must be greater than or equal to 0. Then let us look at examples. How do we deal with surds? The first example, I have root 2 times root 2. Remember from the first rule, if the numbers are the same under the root, it is equivalent to that number. So root 2 times root 2 is giving me 2. The next one, if I have root 2 times root 3 from the second rule, I just multiply these numbers under the root. That is root of 2 times 3, giving me root 6. Then the third one, I have 3 times root 2 from the third rule. I just multiply this multiplication. This is the same as 3 root 2. And then the fourth one, I have 3 root 2 times 2 root 3. I just multiply 3 times 2 from the fourth root 3 times 2 as here. Then I multiply also the numbers under the root, that is root 2 times root 3 as I've done here, times root 3. So from the second law, we know that root 2 times root 3 is the same as multiplying root of 2 times 3 all under the same root. So 3 times 6 is giving me 6. So multiplying these ones 2 times 3 under the same root, like this, 2 times 3 all under the same root from the second root. Then this one will give me 6. 2 times 3 is also giving me 6. So my final answer is 6 root 6. Then the fifth one is a quotient. From the last rule, I have root of 15 divided by root of 3. This is the same as putting them under the same rule, that is root of 15 all over 3. And we know that 15 all over 3 clearly gives us 5. So that is equivalent to the root of 5.